So you want a raid weapons tier list? Let's get into it. What is going on, YouTube? Matty here. Today, I want to bring you guys the King's Fall raid weapons tier list. We got all of these weapons and all of these weapons, and we're going to rate them from A tier, S tier, all the way down to D tier. First thing is first. I have to start with the hand cannon, as I know a lot of you are looking at this list curiously waiting to see what goes where and why. First of all, Zalu's Bane is a 140 RPM energy hand cannon. This is an insane addition to the newest season of the Plunder. With a magazine size of just 10 and the potential of more with a few perks, this hand cannon will fit nicely in my arsenal for the next few months until Lightfall. So, what makes this hand cannon so special? Well, first of all, it's a 140 that can roll with some insane perks, but most importantly, it goes in the energy slots. I know this season a few Guardians were wanting a solid energy 140 as our sweet palindrome came and went far too soon. Now, don't get me wrong. We have some nasty energy hand cannons, such as Sunshot, which is a personal favorite, but with this new legendary, you have the ability to make this a miniature Sunshot. Let me explain. The perks seen in the B-roll footage have opening shot and incandescent. This allows you to literally explode your enemies on body shot or headshot kills, doing damage to all surrounding bad guys. The trait Runneth Over, which is on all King's Fall weapons, allows you to gain an overflow of rounds based on the number of allies that are near your reload. With backup mag and a full stack of ×5 Runneth Over, I have seen 20 shots in my hand cannon, and I love it so damn much. Now, I don't want to say this with every single weapon we're talking about today, but each gun is craftable, which makes this so much more fun. Seriously, guys, this is a big deal. These weapons are insane. What are some rolls you're gonna want with Zalu's Bane? For me, I like either small bore or arrowhead break. You could go for a third option of corkscrew, as that's the barrel on exotics like Ace of Spades or Thorn, which feel great, but this is kind of a dealer's choice. Second slot, we want Accurize to give us that +10 in range, and for the last two slots, this is going to be up to you guys. There's a fantastic PvE and PvP roll, which truly makes this hand cannon shine. Want a PvP roll? Well, opening shot and Eye of the Storm is literally perfection for the PvP world. PvE god wanting to bring some excitement into your life? Maybe a little bit of spice? Say no more. Explosive payload with Firefly, or my favorite, Incandescent, you will be an ad clearing machine. This roll, in my opinion, is very much like Sunshot, but legendary. Try it. Trust me. You're gonna love it. All in all, guys, with the ability to have an amazing PvE, as well as a great PvP roll, not to mention how just great it felt to shoot, I would put Zalu's Bane in the A tier. It may not be the next palindrome, but the ability to craft with enhanced perks and come with an amazing array of them, I think it'll truly shine this season. Doom of Chelchis, or Doom of Chi-Chis as they call it, is a 180 RPM scout rifle that caught me by surprise. When I first took this into PvE, I noticed the reticle was just plain awesome. Big hats off to the design team, as even though this came from Destiny 1, it just looks so damn cool once again. This scout baseline has a damage fallout between 38 meters and 75 meters with a pretty good recoil direction to start. I really enjoyed using this in strikes, but more so when I took this into PvP. This quickly became my favorite legendary scout rifle. It just felt really nice to shoot. I don't know how to explain it, but it just felt right. The perks I'm using in the B-roll footage before you honestly isn't my god roll, but nonetheless performed fantastically. Clicking heads from a close range or a distance a bit further never felt easier, and for some reason felt really satisfying. Now, to get into the rolls I look for, I'll be crafting my own Chi-Chi scout rifle with arrowhead break to allow for that perfect up and down directional recoil, Accurized, as we like that range, and we be sick like that. For the two columns, this is going to be preference and where you see yourself thriving. For me, I think I'm going to craft a Vorpal in the third column with either an Eye of the Storm or Dragonfly for that 3-meter explosion on precision kills. I think with enhanced Dragonfly and the mod slot that makes explosions bigger, it could have the potential to be very annoying to an unlucky Guardian's teammates. You know, that one guy who sticks out too much and then his friends who are right behind him. Those guys. I think this can make for an amazing PvE scout to take down raid bosses or that annoying yellow bar, as well as some unexpected guardians out in the distance for an easy cleanup kill. Because this also carries some great perks as well as being craftable, I would bring Doom of Chelchis in the A tier category. Midas Reckoning is a high impact frame 960 charge time fusion rifle. Now, at first, I didn't think too much of this fusion, as Xur's main ingredient just tends to hold King as the legendary mapping make me so angry fusion. But this bad boy has the potential to one-shot some unlucky guardians from what I've tested to be a decent range. How far? Let's head into a private match and find out. From our tests, it seems that Midas Reckoning had a max range of around 19 meters, which is on par with Xur's main ingredient. So, I mean, listen, before I get into this next sentence, that made me so mad when I found out 19 meters to a one-shot body? I'm sorry. So, this being a 960 charge time and Xur's being a 780, you will notice a slight charge time difference because you're good with math. Where this may shine through? Well, that'll be the craftable enhanced perks that may be able to boost this fusion to a clean 20 meters, one body shot mappage. Looking at the potential rolls that you can roll for this, we're looking at Arrowhead Break for that 100 directional recoil, Particle Repeater for the increased stability. Third column, we're going to be going with Well-Rounded. Being in a melee heavy season, this will come in handy. Last off, I would go with Kickstarter to proc a bonus damage and a higher charge rate just based off of you sprinting or sliding. For those that may be running and sliding their butts on the ground worse than a dog that got worms, this perk is for you. This buff lasts for about 1.5 seconds normally, but enhanced will increase this buff time. Being that this fusion is craftable with the ability to have enhanced perks and has the same range of 19 meters to the Xur's main ingredient, but with a slightly longer charge time at 960, I just can't help but put this fusion in the B tier category. Really solid overall, and I just wished fusions never existed. Moving on. Now, what we have next is something that keeps me up at night. It keeps me thinking how easy and nice hitting headshots is going to be once I can craft this beauty to its full potential. Yes, we're talking about Defiance of Yasmin, a sniper that I am so happy came back with King's Fall Raid. This has some really special things about it, and let me tell you why. First and foremost, this is a kinetic 90 RPM sniper, which for a lot of people is a golden find. There are not too many amazing kinetic snipers that you can grind for today. If you happen to see the review we did of this sniper, I'll link that below, but more or less, this is going to be taking the place of my very used and loved Eye of Soul. This sniper, much like my beloved, is a 40 zoom. Why is that so exciting? Well, for those that don't know, Bungie did buff snipers a few months ago, allowing lower zoom snipers, well, to put it simply, be easier to hit headshots with. So this, as well as my beloved, will be my two main snipers for the next few months until Lightfall has something else to offer. Now let's go into roles and why the sniper may be the best to hit this season. In the first column, we're going to be using the tried and true Arrowhead Break to allow for that perfect up and down recoil. Second, we go with Accurized, as increased range is a sniper's best friend. Now for the last two columns, nothing else matters other than snapshot and opening shots. This is a role that Bungie sneakily removed from Eye of Soul, which we got from Trials of Osiris. This role on that sniper was so free, it became a staple in your PvP streamer's life. When they took it out, we all knew the reason, but the fact that this 40 zoom craftable sniper has the ability to get such a role with an enhanced version of both perks, this will hands down be the most disgusting sniper to grace your tiny baby-sized hands. I know we may have some controller or console players looking at snap moving target, and that's okay. It's okay to be wrong. But I highly recommend trying snap opening shot despite your input. Trust me, guys. This is gonna change everything you know. So before I pop a blood vessel with excitement over this thing, I can't help but place this sniper into the S tier category. This is in a high league of legendary snipers and can compete with those tried and true snipers that we've been using for seasons. Good luck out there, Guardians. You're gonna see a lot of these. Moving on. When you think of a pulse rifle, I tend to think of those back of the map Andes and the sweet sound of No Time to Explain, as well as any 540 pulse rifle just piercing my brain. I'm here to tell you that we are blessed to get this 390 RPM that goes by the name of Smite of Moraine. I had the pleasure of getting one last week during my first set of King's Fall raids when I was completing it on each character, and although I may not have the god roll, I still quite enjoy this pulse. Now, I had Focused Fury along with Firefly, which I'm always fond of, but for being a pulse rifle, this gun lacked in range. When I'm using No Time to Explain, granted it is an exotic, it seems to feel as if range is just non-existent. Something legendary such as the famous messenger from Trials of Osiris that felt like no matter their distance, you're gonna blast them. When I used Smite, the range felt a bit short, almost as if I'm supposed to be using this in more of a medium to a medium close range. Perhaps the role I had wasn't suited for max range, but just food for thought. Some roles you may enjoy getting on this pulse would be naturally Arrowhead for the directional recoil, Accurized for the increased range, moving target for better target acquisition across all input devices such as controller or mouse and keyboard, and personally for PvP I would go for either an Eye of the Storm or Swashbuckler. For my PvE babies, we would be looking at a well-rounded or my personal favorite of Firefly to help with any ad clearing. Honestly guys, this pulse felt slightly underwhelming, but I do not doubt it was because of the role I was using. Overall, if I'm picking up a pulse rifle to use in PvP, I would aim for a no time, or maybe a Desperado 390 such as Messenger. I might pick this up for PvE with that Firefly just to see some dregs just blow up. But overall, guys, I'm going to be putting this pulse rifle in the B tier. Now, last but very not least, this weapon was one of my favorite heavy machine guns back in Destiny 1. Quillem's Terminus is a 360 round per minute high impact frame big old boy. Surprisingly, this is a stasis elemental heavy versus what we had back in Destiny 1, where I believe it was void. Heavy machine guns that are very popular seem to be far and few. These days, we're either seeing Gallahorn or someone using a sword for that sweet 3-peak ability. So 360 RPM heavies aren't really favored at the moment in PvP, but personally for PvE, these things rip. Really fun to ad clear and super manageable as far as any recoil and magazine space. With the intrinsic trait Runneth Over, you can get so many bullets in this bad boy, it's actually disgusting. Rolls we're going to be looking for will be that arrowhead break, accurized, and for the last two columns, I'd go dynamic sway reduction for the added stability when holding down the trigger, paired with either killing tally, allowing increased damage on kills until it's stowed or reloaded, or firing line, which will give us a 20% boost in precision damage when near two or more allies. This will more so be for PvE, and the enhanced crafted perks will only make it that much better. Overall, this is nothing too special, and the roles seem more towards PvE instead of both PvE and PvP. So guys, all in all, I'm going to be putting Quillem's in the B tier category. Well guys, there it is. Truly an amazing raid that brought us some weapons that I have to say I'm so glad came back. On their own, they're fantastic, and bringing in the fact that they are craftable makes it that much better. Let me know down below if you would replace any of these weapons, or if you disagree with any of the tier placements, guys. I'm curious. Write them down below. Let me know. We will be doing some raid helps coming up, so click that Twitch link below if you do need someone to bring you on through. As always, guys, thank you so much for the support. I love you, and I'll see you on the next one.